I am so excited to share this one with you because honestly, we're looking at an absolute masterclass in biological defense today. You know, nature is completely full of paradoxes, but very few are as fascinating or as terrifying as the subject of our deep dive right now. We're going to explore a living organism that looks perfectly inviting, yet it possesses a chemical arsenal so extreme it's widely considered nature's ultimate threat. We are breaking down the anatomy of what is literally known as the tree of death.
Okay, let's dive into this. I really want you to picture the scene. You're enjoying a perfect vacation. You're walking along a gorgeous, sun-drenched beach somewhere in Florida or the Caribbean. The breeze is blowing, the sand is warm, and right there along the coastline, you spot a modest, lush little tree. It's got these shiny, vibrant green leaves, and it's dotted with what look exactly like tiny, delicious green apples. It's an incredibly inviting, totally idyllic picture, right?
But here is where the story takes a sharp turn. Just imagine you give in to your curiosity for a second. You reach out your hand to touch one of those harmless-looking tiny green apples, or maybe you just casually brush your shoulder against the leaf as you walk by. What actually happens? Well, that simple, everyday action sets off a chain reaction that you will regret for days, if not weeks.
Section 1. The Tree of Death. Unveiling Hippomane mancinella.
So unlike most plants that just sit there harmlessly when you bump into them, this particular plant actively fights back. Its formal name is Hippomane mancinella. It's a coastal plant native to Florida and the Caribbean, and it absolutely hasn't earned the nickname Tree of Death just for dramatic effect. No, it has earned it through a highly toxic, highly evolved system of chemical defenses. This isn't just a plant with a few pesky thorns. This is a literal botanical fortress.
Section 2. A chemical arsenal. The danger of direct contact.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when you make physical contact with this botanical fortress. The threats are incredibly varied. If you get the sticky, milky sap directly on your skin, you don't just get a little rash. Within minutes to hours, your skin burns, itches, reddens, and eventually erupts into painful blisters. It's a severe chemical burn. Now, say you get that sap on your hand and accidentally rub your eyes, well, that triggers a painful condition called keratoconjunctivitis, leading to intense swelling, tearing, and even temporary vision loss. And it doesn't stop there. Even the wood is weaponized. If you try to burn it, the toxic smoke can cause temporary blindness and severe respiratory issues.
Section 3. Zooming in. The biological sabotage.
To truly understand this visceral agony, we have to look under the microscope. Step 1. The tree's sap contains incredibly potent chemicals called formyl esters, which easily penetrate human skin. Moving to step 2, these aren't just brute force acids. They are molecular mimics. They actually mimic natural signals within your own body. So, the crucial point is, in step 3, these formyl esters effectively hijack your cell's normal communication systems and jam the biochemical signals completely in the on position. And finally, step 4 shows the devastating result. Your cells go into absolute overdrive. They produce rampant inflammation and structural damage that manifests on the surface as those horrifying, painful blisters. It is cellular hijacking at its finest.
Section 4. Environmental hazards and traps, no touching required.
Now you might be thinking, okay, simple enough, I'll just make sure I never touch the sap, the leaves, or the wood. Unfortunately, this tree essentially booby-traps its own environment. First off, the toxins in the leaves and the bark are highly water-soluble. That means if a rainstorm hits and you take shelter under its branches, the rain dissolves the toxins and literally rains poison down onto your skin, causing severe chemical burns without you ever directly touching the tree itself. Insane, right? Second, the tree contains compounds called furocoumarins. These insidious chemicals actually weaponize sunlight. If they get on your skin, they react with UV light to cause even more severe damage to your skin cells and your DNA. It doesn't rely on just one trick, it uses a simultaneous combined chemical assault.
Section 5. The poison apple. A deceptive snack.
We've talked about touching it, standing under it, and burning it. But what happens in the absolute worst-case scenario? What if you pick one of those tiny green apples and actually take a bite? Well, let's move to and see how this builds. At first, you'd actually be pleasantly surprised. The fruit has a sweet, very pleasant taste. It completely tricks you. But moments later, the deception ends. A profound burning sensation rapidly spreads through your mouth and throat. Swallowing becomes incredibly painful and even difficult. The same toxic compounds we discussed earlier are now inside your body, attacking your sensitive internal tissues, leading to severe inflammation and massive gastrointestinal distress. It is quite literally the ultimate poisoned apple.
Section 6. Nature's Toxic Guardian, the Ecological Purpose. Up until now, we've basically painted Hippoman Manchineel as an absolute villain, a botanical monster, really. But zooming out and looking at the bigger picture, it serves a critical ecological purpose. Those deep, expansive root systems act as massive anchors, heavily stabilizing the loose, sandy coastlines of Florida and the Caribbean. During severe storms and hurricanes, the Tree of Death acts as a vital barrier that prevents the beaches from just washing away into the ocean. And incredibly, despite all the forbible esters and furocoumarins, the tree provides safe food for certain local animals. Some iguanas actually live right there in the branches and eat the fruit with absolutely zero harm. It's a biological immunity mechanism that scientists still do not fully understand. Finally, Section 7. Staying safe and setting records. Warnings in the wild. So, how in the world do you coexist with a plant that can chemically burn you, blind you, and protect the coastline all at once? This is the most important takeaway if you are ever traveling in these coastal regions. Look for human intervention. Local authorities know exactly how dangerous these trees are. You'll very often see a literal warning sign staked into the sand right next to it, or a bright red mark, like a band or an X, painted directly onto the trunk. If you see red paint on a coastal tree, take the hint, guys. Stay far away. Some apples are absolutely better left alone.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sheer pedigree of this plant's reputation. It goes far beyond just local folklore. The Manchineel tree holds the 2011 Guinness World Record for the most dangerous tree in the world. That is a cocktail party fact you can definitely keep in your back pocket. It has official, globally recognized status as nature's ultimate hazard.
And human beings have respected and utilized this danger for centuries. Long before Guinness World Records even existed, indigenous Caribbean tribes thoroughly understood the tree's chemical payload. They historically harvested that blistering sap and used it to tip their arrows. They weaponized the tree's defenses for their own hunting and territorial defense, effectively turning the tree's biological sabotage into a brilliant tactical advantage.
Which leaves us with this final provocative thought to ponder. If a single tree can inflict so much visceral agony, holding world records for its toxicity, yet simultaneously acts as an unbreakable anchor that prevents entire coastlines from eroding into the sea, is the Tree of Death actually one of our most vital guardians? It's a perfect reminder that in nature, things are rarely just good or evil. Sometimes, the most dangerous things in the world are exactly what hold the world together. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.